How's it going, everyone? ND Sean 45 coming at you. Well, it is just after midnight here on Christmas Day, so Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope you all have a great Christmas with your family and friends, and as I always say during the holiday season, if you're traveling in crappy weather, please be careful and use caution. So, with that said, this week has finally arrived. Not just that it's Christmas week, but this Saturday is the Camping World Pineapple Bowl. Yes, that's what I'm going to call this game. I know that's not officially what it's called, but as you guys heard me say in the videos talking about, dignity and tradition for the minor bowl games, you already know what I'm talking about. And for this game, the name Pineapple is just fitting. I mean, I think the little poster that I made that you guys saw shows that. It makes a lot of sense. And honestly, with a name like that and a logo like that, that honestly is a trophy that if I was a head coach or an athletic director, even though it's not a major bowl game, that's a trophy that I would still be proud to have in my trophy case. But I covered that already in the previous videos. Let's get right down to the matchup. So the Irish are going to be taking on a 7-5 Iowa State Cyclone team. Now myself personally, I grew up in an area that's known as the Quad City area, which is right on the border of the Illinois-Iowa border, consists of Moline and Rock Island, Illinois, and Davenport and Bettendorf, Iowa on the other side of the river. So the reason I bring that up is because, well, naturally in that area, there's a lot of Iowa fans and a good share of Iowa State fans too. So Hawkeyes and Cyclones met quite a number of both of their fan bases. So believe me, I know the hype for both of those teams in the area. Now the Cyclones, even though they're 7-5, and I know everyone who's been reading, the articles and the lead-ups to this game, you've heard it a million times, but I'm going to say it here on my video as well. That 7-5 record by Iowa State, sometimes records don't always do the team justice. This team, from what I've seen of them, they are a lot better than what their 7-5 record indicates. I think of those 5 losses, I think 3 or 4 of them were by like 1 score. So this is a team that can play some ball. A lot of talent on this team. And the 2 guys that stick out to me the most from doing my research, obviously, and you could say this with every preview that you do. It always starts with the quarterback. And in this case, for Iowa State, it's sophomore Brock Purdy. And this is what I really like about doing videos on the desktop again, because I can actually bring up stats. Unlike the cell phone, I couldn't do that. So I had to really burn it in my mind and memorize. But hey, I can just read it here now, which I love. But Brock Purdy, from his freshman season, you look at quite the difference in the improvement by this kid. I mean, this year, just over 3,700 yards passing, 3,760 to be exact, 27 touchdowns, and only 9 interceptions, with looks like a quarterback rating of 153.2. So you look at his numbers. I mean, his first season, 2,250 yards, 16 touchdowns, 7 picks. So interceptions went up a little bit, but hey, so did the touchdowns. So this is a kid that can ball out. What more can I say? And he's dual threat. He can make you pay on the ground as well. Let's see, where are his rushing stats? Well, let's click the see all and see what we can come up with here.
Make this season más interesante with the football.
Sorry about the ad, guys. And no, just because that happened, I'm not going to go back and edit this video. Okay, rushing. 265 yards on 86 attempts. So a 3.1 average per carry, which is not that great, but still he has 8 touchdowns to show for it, just on the ground. And then, of course, the other player who stands out to me for the Cyclones is, I forget, where is his name at? Their running back. It's off the tip of my tongue, but why can't I find it? Oh, Breece Hall. Now, this is a guy, from what I was reading on him, because I don't watch a lot of Cyclone games, just being honest with you guys. But he got off to a really slow start this season, but he's come on late in the second part of the season here, 842 yards and 9 touchdowns. So, very talented kid, and those two guys alone are, I think, the heart and soul of that Cyclone offense. Really good. They've been able to make things happen. But the thing is, you hear numbers like that, and and I'm not taking anything away from it, not at all. But that is very expected of teams in the Big 12 Conference. That's how a lot of them are. They're very, very big, high-powered offenses, pass-heavy, a lot of points. But I think this is where the difference is going to be. Now, I'm not saying that Iowa State's defense is bad, but just the Big 12 in general, that's usually how the trend has been. High-powered, high-scoring offenses, not so good defenses, which is why you see a lot of you see a lot of barn burners in that conference. And that's kind of been the case with Iowa State because they've given up roughly 25 to 30 points a game. So that's kind of a little bit of an eyesore right there. And Notre Dame, we've been averaging, I think, close to 38 points a game, if I'm not mistaken. So, but still, though, this is not a Cyclone team that is to be taken lightly just because they're 7-5. I mean, like I said, of their 5 losses, 4 of them were by less than a score. So this is a team that can push their opponents to the limit, and so you can't underestimate them. But I always say you can't underestimate any opponent. So obviously the key to victory for the Irish in this game is we have got to shut down Bryce Purdy. We have to contain him. We can't let him get away because he will make us pay with his legs. And if we're not able to contain him, then it could be a long day for our defense. But I know Clark Lee is up for the challenge. I don't know why I had a little mind fart there, but I did. But his defense has done pretty well all season long, with the exception of one game, and obviously that was the eyesore that happened up in Ann Arbor. But that's the thing. I really think that our defense is going to be the best that the Cyclones have seen all season. Really, aside from one game, our defense really hasn't done that poorly. So I think that's the difference alone in this game is our defense against that Cyclone offense. But that doesn't mean that we're not going to give up some points in this game. And honestly, I could see this game going like it has for at least half of the games on our schedule this year. I could see the throughout the first half it being kind of a stalemate. I could even see Iowa State taking the lead and going into halftime with the lead. But I do think the Irish will do like they have been 10 out of the 12 games we played this season and pull through late in the game in the second half. So that's how I see this game going down. Would I love a blowout? Absolutely I would. And do I think we're capable of doing it? Yes, I do. But at this point in time, I can't guarantee that, and I honestly can't bring myself to expect that either. Because, this is an Iowa State team that is looking to prove something. I mean, this is a matchup that, from articles that I've read, their fans are excited about this. They want to win this one and make a statement in the worst way possible. Their head coach just got an extension. He would like to put an exclamation point on that and show that he deserves that contract extension. So this Cyclone team is going to be hungry, and they're going to bring everything that they have at us. Just the only thing that sucks about it is that, one, it's not on the big stage, and two, it's on a stage that's nice, but as I said in previous videos, it's just too corporate of a stage. Hence why I'm calling this game the Pineapple Bowl, because it needs to have its own name, and it brings that tradition and that traditional feel and pizzazz of, like I said, what we think of when we think of college football bowl games. It's too corporate, and that's what sucks about it. So I'm giving it its own name. So, after everything that I've seen and looking at the matchups and score prediction, this is kind of tough for me because, like I said, this Iowa State team is better than that 7-5 record indicates, and they can put up some points. But given into account that I think our defense is going to be the best that they've seen all year, my final score prediction for this game, I'm going to say Notre Dame 38, Iowa State 24. Notre Dame gets that 11th win to cap off the season, heading into next year, giving us something to work on and build up to. And yeah, end the season with that 11th win and end it on a positive note. So it's not the way we want our season to end, but anytime you can have an 11-win season, that's phenomenal. Just you can't lose the big ones on your schedule. When you get those opportunities, you have to take advantage of them, and that cost us when it came to the postseason this year. And again, that's not bad-mouthing Iowa State. That's not even bad-mouthing the bowl game, despite the fact that I think they could do better with their naming process. But if you want to play on the big stage, you got to win. So yeah, 38-24. Notre Dame caps off the season with its 11th win. That's my final score prediction. Hopefully it comes true. Hopefully it's better than what I expect and what I'm saying right now. So with that, everyone, even though it's just really me on these videos and I don't involve my family, because YouTube is my thing, not theirs, from my family to yours, Merry Christmas, God bless, and as always, go Irish, beat Cyclones.